Hey, what's up everybody? I'm David McGill. Now, recently I got a phone call from one of my clients where he called to let me know that his truck had caught on fire, and he wanted me to reach out to the insurance company to let them know and also to initiate the process for the claim. Now, I did this, and by going through this process, I learned a lot. And so in this video, I wanted to share some of the things I learned by giving you guys some tips for your insurance and your trucking business. First, let me give you guys a little bit of backstory. Now, my client was driving, he was doing a power only load for a company, and it was a refrigerated trailer that he was pulling. Now, he was driving through Colorado when the tractor caught a blowout. He got on the back, he got out of the truck and checked the tire and saw that a small fire had started, but he couldn't get it contained. So eventually the fire department came out and they extinguished the fire right on the side of the road, but the truck and the trailer and all the cargo was all destroyed. So he reached out to me for me to go ahead and get the process started, with the insurance company. Now, when I called the insurance company to get the process started, here were some of the questions that the insurance agent had for me about the situation. The first one was, what caused the fire? Now, like I told you guys, it was a blowout of a tire that ultimately sparked the fire. The next question was he bobtailing or was he hauling the load? Now, he was actually hauling the load. He was hauling a refrigerated trailer for another company. What type of cargo was he hauling? Now, I believe it was something like a creamer, like coffee creamer. I think it had something to do with like a Starbucks load. So which would make sense since he was pulling a refrigerated trailer. Now, what I want you guys to note is this was a power only load. Now, typically when you get your insurance, most brokers are going to require that you have $100,000 cargo insurance. Now, if you're going to pull another company's trailer through power only, most of the times they're going to require that you have trailer interchange insurance. Now, for this particular broker, they didn't require trailer interchange insurance. Even though they didn't require trailer interchange insurance, if you opted not to get it, then you had to pay like an additional fee. There was like basically like an additional deduction that the broker was going to make that I'm assuming that broker would use to purchase the separate insurance policy, because ultimately they still want the trailer to be covered. Now, with my clients, they had actually dropped their cargo insurance because once they started pulling this power only freight, they had no more need for it because they had signed up for the additional deduction through the broker. Now, the biggest tip that I want to give you guys out there is you have to understand your insurance policy. Now, none of us want to think about what will happen in the case of an accident or a fire or anything like that, but ultimately these things do happen, and we need to understand what liability we'll have if they happen. Now, my client's motor carrier policy, it covered the truck and it also covered the trailer. Now, the broker's policy is what covered the cargo. But one thing I'd like to point out is you need to find out exactly what your policy is going to cover, because keep in mind, if your truck were to ever catch on fire and you lost the whole thing, keep in mind you're going to have some personal belongings on the inside, and you're also going to have loss of wages as all the claims and everything are processing. So you want to make sure you have a very clear understanding with your insurance agent what coverages you have and what limitations you have. Now, if you find yourself in a situation where you're doing some power only freight, then you want to have a clear understanding with the broker what their insurance policy covers, and if you choose to go with their waiver as opposed to trailer interchange insurance. Now, once you have that information from the broker, I would recommend that you also have a follow-up conversation with their insurance agent so that the insurance agent can review it and help you assess the risk and let you know what's covered and how those two insurance policies work together. Another tip that I'll give you is make sure you're being as detailed and open and honest as possible with your insurance agent. Now, I know there's going to be times where you're going to be hauling certain type of loads for the first time. Now, it doesn't hurt to reach out to your insurance agent before you haul these loads to make sure that you're covered. For example, if you're pulling drive-in freight all the time, and let's say it's always a certain type of good or a certain type of commodity, and then you book a load where you're going to be hauling electronics, it would be in your best interest to reach out to your insurance agent just to make sure that the electronics are covered by your insurance policy. Now, some of you might feel like that might be a waste of time, but like one of my favorite sayings is, everything is all good until it's not. So yeah, it might seem like a waste of time when everything is going smooth, but then in the event that you have an accident or a fire in this case, and the cargo goes up in flames, then you're gonna wish you knew everything there was to know about the cargo ahead of time. Now, another party that you wanna have a good communication with, if you finance your equipment, is you wanna have a good understanding with the bank. Now, if you're financing your equipment, then you're gonna have a lien on your equipment. So in the event that something happens, the lien holders will be paid by the insurance company, and then you'll receive any additional proceeds after the first lien has been satisfied. So it'd be a good idea when you finance your equipment to talk to the bank and also talk to your insurance company and find out just how everything works if there was a situation like this. You want to know who all the points of contact are in case of an emergency, or in case of a situation like this, who do you reach out to? What's the standard process for processing a claim like this? And what type of reimbursement would you be subject to if something like this happened? Something else you want to be mindful of is, how does the insurance company calculate your loss? So in this particular case with my client, when I looked at the documents, I can see that the insurance company, they looked at similar trucks in the area, and they looked at similar miles, the same year, make, and model, and took an average of all the sales prices of those trucks to come up with the fair market value for the truck that was lost. Now, hopefully you guys are never in this situation where any of this information is going to be needed. However, I would highly recommend that you guys get all of this information ahead of time. So as you're going through and setting up your trucking business, and for you guys out there who already have your trucking businesses, it would be in your best interest to make sure you're fully aware of how the insurance policies that you have work together. Now, if you find this information helpful, please give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments section. If you have any other questions or comments you'd like to make, you can leave those in the comments section as well. If you haven't already done so, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And if you know anybody else who could benefit from this information, please feel free to share this video with them. And as always, thanks again for watching.